So you support Donald Trump. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to talk about his policies. I'm not going to talk about his promises. I'm not going to talk about whether he's going to cut your taxes or raise them. I'm not going to talk about whether he's going to make America great again or crash it and burn it. And unlike what you probably think, I'm not trying to get the election overturned. I'm not trying to get Hillary Clinton into the White House. I'm not claiming the Republican Party won't be there for at least the next 4 years. No, this is about him and you. And the respect for you I start with because you're watching this. You are thoughtful enough to have gotten this far. Frankly, I don't know if I could watch your video. So let's go in on the assumption that you're smarter than I am, in which case you already know what my point is going to be. I don't know who the political figure would be if our places were reversed. I guess the time I ever got the closest to the position you are in was with John Edwards, who had a problem, and I didn't see it. And while he was not my first choice, I would have supported him for president. He had what I thought was a great, humane set of policies. And he had a wife who was so smart and had been through so much in life that she probably should have been the candidate instead of him. And then it turned out John Edwards was a con man who had not only fooled me, he had also fooled her, too. So I have not been where you are right now, but close. And you are in a terrible position. A man whose opinions you agree with has been elected president and is about to be sworn in, and yet I'm pretty sure you know the problem here. You're smart, and generally speaking, the only person who can fool you is you. You're smart enough to recognize something I saw when I first met this man 33 years ago, and that is this. There is something really, really wrong with him. Who does this on Christmas Eve? His tweet was a plug for a documentary about him. Not even a new documentary, a repeat. Who does this on Christmas Eve? His Christmas greeting on Twitter was just a photo of himself, not the family, not the wife, not the kids, not even the vice president, not Santa, not Jesus, just him. Who does this? 2 days later, meaning 49 days after the election is still all he was tweeting about. President Obama campaigned hard and personally in the very important swing states and lost. What kind of man does this? Happy New Year to all, including to my many enemies and those who have fought me and lost so badly they just don't know what to do. Love. Would you write that? Would you write that when you got votes from fewer people than the other candidate did? Would you call everybody else your enemy? To my mind, it is possible for you to agree with Donald Trump and still be a good person. I just disagree with you. But I don't think you're my enemy. But let me run one last pair of tweets past you and ask you if you think they were written by a normal guy. Various media outlets and pundits say that I thought I was going to lose the election. Wrong. It all came together in the last week, and I thought and felt I would win big, easily over the fabled 270, 306. When they canceled fireworks, they knew, and so did I. So those tweets are from last Monday. That means it had only been 3 weeks since he got up at one of those victory tour stops. This one was in West Allis, Wisconsin on December 13th, and he said he thought he was going to lose the election, and he thought he was going to lose the election on the night of the election.
So I go and see my wife. I said, baby, I'll tell you what, we're not going to win tonight because the polls have come out, and you know, I always used to believe in those exit polls. I don't believe in them anymore. I know this. If we're going to lose, I don't want a big ballroom.
There aren't a lot of choices here, are there? I mean, he either lied in the tweets or at the tour stop in Wisconsin or to his wife that night, or he forgot that he said it, or there's something wrong with him. To pretend that there isn't something wrong with him, you have to pretend really hard. And I know you can't say it, I know you don't want to believe it, and I know you won't believe this either, but I wish it were not true. But we have elected a man who is not all there. And that cannot end happily for anybody. Don't say anything, don't do anything. I don't even want you to admit anything to anybody except to yourself. But you know that someday, probably soon, something bad will happen, and whatever he does will make it worse, and it will all be clear that he's not healthy enough to be the president, and they will have to remove him. So all I'm asking, all that this video has been about, is for you to just think about it for when the time comes, because when the Republicans really need to remove him as president, they will need to do it in a hurry. And as a Republican, or as a conservative, or as a Democrat, or as an American, or whichever way you describe yourself, it will be a lot easier and a lot safer for all of us if you have prepared yourself and you help them remove him, because he is not well. Thanks for listening.